So this all started back in 2020, and I'm sure we all remember what happened in 2020. And during this time, I was in college at school, and the talk of the town, school went to shut down. It shut down and whatnot, so we couldn't go to class. I had to go home and whatnot. And so eventually, I remember talking to people about whether you should get them, whether you shouldn't, and basically a lot of health talk was going on during this time. And throughout my time in college, I was trying to become a little bit more healthy by working out and eating healthier foods and whatnot, but nothing too extreme compared to where I'm at now. But after the whole pandemic and whatnot, and I and full disclosure, I did get the, which, if I had known what I know now, I would not have gotten it. But because of this and just the messaging behind and everything, it really spurred me to ask a lot of questions because, from my point of view, a lot of things didn't really make sense at the time. And at the time, people were saying, the mainstream media and everyone was saying, oh, you got to social distance, you got to wear a mask, you got to get and whatnot. And in general, I was just like, I'm a very logical thinking person, and a lot of these things just didn't make logical sense, especially like when it comes to wearing masks and like the social distancing. If you ever seen, I saw this one video of someone wearing a mask, and the caption was "masks work," and they took a hit of a vape or something and blew it out, and it all just came right out the sides. So that was kind of funny, but also shows that, are these masks really effective? And then the other one was the messaging behind social distancing, which was you have to be 6 feet apart. And I was just thinking, well, what if I breathe and then the person who I'm 6 feet apart moves into where I was breathing? Then wouldn't they technically get COVID from that, right? So that was the second thing where I was just like, that doesn't make much sense. And then, especially with the shots, they were talking about, even if you had natural immunity and you had it, that you should still get it, even though it was showing even early on that natural immunity was protecting better than someone who had got the shot and whatnot. So those were like the three things that really spurred me to go, something's going on here. And eventually I started going down that rabbit hole and really learning about pharmaceutical companies, how they do things, and then that spurred me to start eating healthier and really just being conscious about everything that I eat and whatnot. It slowly started over a period of time, so over a few years. I just slowly was watching more health podcasts, learning all these little tips and tricks about health stuff, learning about what was actually healthy and whatnot. And so, I probably have thousands of hours just learning about this stuff, right? And then back in 2024, I was a couple years into my job at this point, and my first job, I should say. And at this point, I was already kind of considering quitting my job to go and do my own thing. And at the time, I didn't know exactly what that was going to be, but I knew I had to do something. And because of how healthy I was, and everyone, saying, "Oh, you're," even at work, I'd eat blueberries, strawberries, and dark chocolate every day. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's really healthy." Like, "Oh, I couldn't be as healthy as you," and whatnot. It just spurred me to think, hey, maybe I should be helping people with becoming healthier. And then I came across life coaching, and I thought that it was a perfect match for me in terms of what I could do that aligns with helping people and being able to be more free in terms of, doing what I want when I want and still being able to make a good amount of money compared to what I was making at my financial job. And I decided that, I want to be a life and health coach and really help people with these things. And the big thing that I was starting to realize after going down these rabbit holes for about, 3 to 4 years at the time, now about 5 years, was that the mainstream narrative is a lot different than what should be going on. Now, of course, that's just my opinion, but that's part of the reason why I wanted to start doing this on my own, because I realized that what the mainstream was telling us wasn't the full truth. And, we're told to trust doctors, told to trust the mainstream narrative, told to trust the studies, and that we should base all of our health decisions off of those things for the most part. And just based off of what I was finding online and really looking into this stuff, I was starting to realize that a lot of it was not true, and that it was actually harming us instead of doing us good. Over the years, I've been seeing how many people are still falling for these tricks that they're playing on us, and I just felt deep down that I needed to do something about it, which is why I fully quit my job to pursue doing this. And that's through doing health coaching, making content regarding health and whatnot, and really, yeah, really just making people aware of what is going on. The frustrating thing is that most people only listen to doctors and whatnot, and the purpose of what I'm trying to do is give you a different perspective on that, because I have never been in any health field. My degree was not in health whatsoever. It was in statistics, which does have some overlap actually in terms of understanding studies. But I just feel like from my unique perspective of just looking on the internet and learning for it myself and listening to other people and not being fully influenced by, schools, healthcare companies, or anything else like that, I just felt like my message was unique. And I know I'm rambling here, but it just pains me to see so many people getting tricked and doing the wrong things when I know deep down I know what's right. And so, I just wanted to share this with you all so that you kind of know my true purpose for why I'm making these videos, and hopefully get to know me a little bit more and whatnot. And I always advocate for people to do their own research, not just take my word as is. Just doing that, regardless of if it's health information or anything else, you should do your own research. And now with the capabilities of the internet, we can learn anything we want. You don't have to go to school to get a proper education. You don't have to work in the field to get proper knowledge around these things. And that's one thing I'm starting to realize a lot, is that just because you went to school or have worked in these fields doesn't mean you actually know the truth. And I feel as though I know the truth, and I'm just going to share it with you all. And yeah, I mean, and I know I'm not right about all of these things, but I feel as though I am, in line with most of them. And of course, I'm always open for debate and for people to be critical of me and whatnot. So pointing out the flaws in what I'm sharing with you guys, I more than welcome. And I actually encourage it, because I want to make sure that the information I'm sharing with you is correct. So yeah, hopefully you guys, learned a little bit more about me through this video and get a really good understanding of why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I hope you guys continue to follow me going forward, because I have a lot of information up in here that I know will be very helpful for all of you to know and understand. If you're not following me already, hit that follow button, like this video, do whatever you need to get more of me. And yeah, peace.